Okay, so it's been a while since I've posted a video, right? I've just been endlessly trying to figure this deck out because, as apparent and as obvious as it seems, right? We know the options that we have. I've tried like so many things. I've tried like, if you've watched the previous videos, I've mentioned like controversial decisions where do you need 1-for-1? Do you need full Sperry, or do you need Monster Reborn? Like cutting us completely. I even gone to the extent of not even playing Doppel Warrior, right? It sounds crazy, but that's how in depth I'm going. Like I'm trying to get to the because we want to use the key cards you want to, I guess, nostalgically play in the modern time, right? Is the tunings, the junk synchrons, and like any type of like, I guess, synchron affiliation, right? Anything to do with that archetype. And Doppel, as iconic as it is to be, like, I guess, mentioned in that conversation, right? It's like it's unheard of to not play it. But like, just thinking about utilizing that deck competitively is where you have to like dig deep and actually go in depth and and question it. Like, do I need it? Is it like a win more type of thing, Because like as it is, like Doppel alone, it does nothing, right? It does absolutely nothing. So keeping that in mind is, what do we want to resolve, right? Because the consistency boost that we got junk converter, right? Junk converter gives us that boost that we needed, that to search the junk synchron and to have grave set up, right? That's like the ideal scenario that we have. But in doing so, that means it's a bit depleting, right? We need a tuner in hand and we need to discard it. So that leaves us with 3 other cards, assuming that converter doesn't resolve. That's 3 cards to work with. If one of them is Doppel, right? I've mentioned before that if you have Doppel and you do that play, that means you have to discard another card to make sure that Doppel play resolves, right? So let's say, for example, you pitch for converter, you pitch ideally you pitch Jet Synchron, right? That leaves you 3 cards. It gets dashed, or it gets negated. Something gets Cobalt Grave. It gets something happens to it. So you're left with junk with that Doppel Warrior, right? So then, how far does Doppel get you? Like, you're gonna use Jet. The card you discard has to have some sort of synergy, or if not, it might have been an interaction like an Ash or a Veiler or something of that sort. But let's say you resolve it, right? Jet comes out, trigger the Doppel, you make Metal Marcher. You can't bring back any tuner unless you discarded a tuner for the Jet, right? And then even then, let's say you don't have the tuner like a Veiler or an Ash. You can't really bring anything back, and you're just stuck with the Metal Marcher, 2 tokens, and how can you utilize it to the full extent, right? Like how more can you progress that? Unless you're playing the Brax and the new Mecha Phantom Link, right? Because that once you open up that, you're certain that you have some sort of like a play, right? Because you have the Librarian play with the Savage play, right? So like that's how deep I've been going into that particular like aspect of the deck. How crucial is it? How beneficial? Because knowing how consistent the top decks are, like Adamant Spider, they're crazy consistent, right? Of course, there's those times where like they can't fully extend if you just like negate their exceed the Granite, because they can't search the rock, then the Adamant Spider card they need to like special summon itself, right? It's very underwhelming at times. But like there's times where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, what do you do? And that's what basically, this is something I was meant to show you earlier during the week, but let's just go ahead and show you. Okay, so the whole concept of this, right, of playing the ISOLDE build, is that if you notice that if your junk forward and junk servant, they both, you don't utilize your normal summon. So let's say if this gets interacted with, you haven't normal summoned yet, then you have your converter play or your tuning play, right? You see what I mean? But all of this is going to be done without your normal summon, which is preferably, right? This is what I'm going to do. So this is okay. So the fact that Steam the Cloak was banned made it a little bit. I guess it added another sequence to the play where you kind of have to do this route. It's kind of like what ISOLDE did. Not ISOLDE. summon sorcerers did, right? Like, we would have that sequence to try and get to the ferret play, right? But now it's a different sequence. It's the same thing. It's just a new route. You have to utilize Brax to bring out one of your junk Synchrons because it's a level 3, and that's you make your power tool, and then you just do the standard power tool play: banish, bring back knight, send, banish knight again, bring back. You know, you do. The majority of us are aware of this sequence, of this combo sequence, and then you do the guards play, right? But of course, if, like I said if you watch the warrior synchro build, I told you that you don't need to utilize. If you open up another level 4 apart from 2 warriors, then you can do the whole sequence without having to use the power tool play. But like that means you would have to open up multiple junk servants for that to happen. But yeah, so you go ahead and do this, right? You go at Palooza. You can play Yugioh if you're on a budget, and then you do this. We do this play. This is what you do now, right? And keep in mind, remember, this is without your normal summon. You haven't normal summoned yet. So like if something happens to this, like, then you can still try to do your play. But the thing about that is, once you've link summoned, you can't do speeder, and that's one of the big issues with the whole purpose of Junk Synchron and Junk Converter. Its consistency is based upon that power play to be able to do Junk Speeder, right? You deplete your hand, you discard special, and go speeder, and then you replenish that way, right? But you can't use that play. Okay, and so just because you can't use it, you can still summon Junk Speeder. You just can't use the effect. That's more. A lot of people sometimes forget about that little thing where you can still summon it. You just can't use the effect. Right here, I shouldn't have summoned this guy. I wasn't sure why I summoned this guy because I still had Jet Engrave and I had Dotscaper. So like you can just pitch for Jet and make a Dragster, and you see what I mean. You make a Crystal Wing after as well. See? Draw, and right here, like if this was in here, you could just pitch for Jet, trigger the Dotscaper, and go for Dragster. Or if you drew Pot Iris. But like I guess ideally for the right circumstances, right? What you want to do is draw into your other DDRs and use those as like pseudo Omni negates, right? Because like Omega will banish a card. That's basically like you're negating it because they don't get to have it, right? So you'll you'll go like banish once. You'll banish 3 cards. You banish 3 cards. You end on Dragster and Crystal Wing, and you have an Palooza for 4. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, there's literally nothing you can do unless the only way to beat that, possibly maybe, is like Dark Ruler no more and like Dark Ruler no more has to be involved for them to have some sort of comeback. But then even then, like, you have like just so many bodies on board that they have to run over, you know. And then you have a BLS for the following turn, and then you know what I mean? Like, it's just. That's crazy, but that's the whole concept of it. Like you utilize the fact that you have these 2 guys, Junk Forward and Junk Servant, as part of the archetype that can do this play without using normal summon, because that's one of the things that you just don't want to waste. You want the primary normal summon to be Junk Synchron. If it comes to worse, you want the secondary summon to be Jet Synchron. Like if you're maxing out on the Jets, because you can just go special Jet, special Junk Servant, summon Jet Synchron, and then make either go ISOLDE or you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah. Let me go ahead and show you the deck list so you can get a better understanding. Okay, so here's the deck list, right? It's it seems pretty basic for the most part, right? You just max out on these guys because it's you just any 2 warriors and it gives you the ferret combo. That's basically what the whole point is, right? 2 warriors, right? And of course, you can just not take this route. You can play like just on a regular like Space Connector and Aqua Dolphin and take that route, right? Of course, that route's cool, but like this gives you just a little bit of versatility where you do, like, if it's not too predictable, or you can do this play, but you can also have a Junk Doppel play, which is the I guess very unpredictable route, right? Because you can just like trigger Doppel, so it's not like it's like you in the War Synchro build where before the Steam the Cloak got banned, where you have to do so high a play, and it kind of eats up the entirety of your extra deck, right? It's like you can't really, there's no really like no really toolboxy things you can do. Similar thing because there's no real spot removal. Like you can't like go Trish or like Karen Gandrax or like anything to like try to like force or bait before you actually proceed to your primary play, right? It's just basically try to do something consistent, but not in a very predictable way. Um, Hopefully that makes sense, right? So it's basically three junk Synchron, three junk servant, three junk forward, one grepher because you want to play another Armageddon Knight like card because you might draw one up like either or, so you want to make sure you have another target in the deck. Triple Doppel, triple junk converter. Your one BLS, just a good ward to search for a follow up. Armageddon Knight, Zephyros, Summoner Monk, and you have of course your Garnets, like the cards you don't really want to draw, right? You don't really want to draw these, but like it's not so bad if you draw this one because you could just like pitch, like I don't know, you could just like top deck it for Plague because that's the good thing about Plague. If you draw like sometimes you'll draw like a DDR when you need 3 of them in the deck to resolve Power Tool, so you just top deck it with Plague's effect and then just continue. You play the floor because it's part of the junk speeder sequence if you prefer to do that route. Then of course you have your one Synchron carrier because you can search something. Just another target to search off of a converter. Jet Synchron, and then the one Dot Skipper. I really like that Skipper because like it just gives you that little like toolboxy thing that you can do. Like it's another target for Foolish to trigger Doppel just to have feel the presence, you know. And then triple tuning, not triple tuning, just one Rhoda, one put Iris. This is still like playing more than one. It just seems like very cloggy. Yeah, and then False Burial, Reborn, triple DDR. Of course, I've been wanting to max this out because there's times where you just want like certainty that but like this is just like the very minimal requirements to just make it as consistent as possible, right? So that's why it's built this way. And then the extra deck, like I said, it's not very toolboxy. It's just basically try to do the loop, right? You try to like, it's like trying to have like, it's like you want to have some sort of versatility. The fact that you can do this hold it play, or if not, you can still Synchro climb due to Shaman and Middle Marcher. Like that's basically what it comes down to. Like you have that versatility to have that option, and then like climb into Appaloosa. Because it's like sometimes you have some weirdo games where it's just like you you just end up doing some weird sequencing because like they either had an Ash or they interrupted you at an awkward moment. You're like, what? Okay, so then you can kind of like salvage and end on some sort of interaction to either stall you for the following turn. But yeah, this build the extra deck is really tight. Of course, like if I wasn't even playing this guy, like and I'm not even playing Herald, which is something that you kind of want to play because it's the way you dodge the Nibiru normally. But like yeah, it's consistent, right? It's consistent in what it does, but it's a bit it has like it's all gas. No, it's not like where you can just like be conservative with it's a combo deck, but like maybe add like Dark Lunar Moors, but you're gonna have to push it above 40 because as it is, look, this is already minimalistic, right? Of course, you can cut the Doppel to 1, but like it'll defeat the purpose of what you're trying to do. You want to have the option to do ISOLDE play or do the junk Doppel play, and yeah, it'll kind of be like, but of course you can try that. You can take it out. Like I said before, I was trying it without Doppels and just playing basically like max out this, max out. I'll do another video and I'll show you guys that build. But because this this video might be a little bit long, so it'll be too much putting that deck and this deck in one video is a bit much. I think it'll be too overwhelming for you guys. So I'll do another video and explain that build. And but like many of you kept asking me and messaging me like, where is this build? Because I just showed I teased a replay on Wolf Grounds. If you're on the group, the link's in the description. Go ahead and join. And you guys were, what happened to the build? And I was like, oh yeah, because I was trying to sort it out. And then I wanted to make like a pretty decent viable build that you can utilize. But yeah, it's basically the option to do this play and this play. And then well, another thing as well, like since you only play like I mean, of course, like you can send jet. I mean, junks, but like ideally, you would normally send like this off of Excel, but you summon the jet off of the ferret, right? So you can't really send a level 1. So normally, what the sequence goes like is you just make the Stardust charge, right? So you don't send, you just end up synchro summoning into charge and then formula, and then that's drawing you like four cards, right? So you just want to keep digging and drawing to try to get to the other DDRs. So once you get to the Omega, you can like theoretically I guess essentially negate 3 cards. Does that make sense? But yeah, that's the whole point of the deck, the fact that you have that as an option. And then yeah, that's gonna be it. Sorry for the delay. I didn't mean to like not post anything yet, but I kept posting on Wolfgrounds. If you're not in Wolfgrounds, I just post little updates on there. And this little meme I did where it's like I use the new care emoji, where he's just like there, and then if you watch long enough, you'll see that the emoji throws up the heart in the air, and then he just becomes Yugioh because he gets the puzzle. It's pretty cool. I'll yeah, just go check it. It's in the Facebook group. But no, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.